Sound check. Okay, that works. That works. That works. That works. You feel me? That works very fine with me. You fumbled with that YouTuber, bro. Oh, bro, I fumbled very much. I fumbled very much, but hey, you know, I do that a lot, and when it comes to fumbling, will I quit? No, I'll probably do it again. I need to keep on pushing. I need to keep on pushing. But welcome to the Blue Log 313 chapter review. I know I delayed this reaction maybe quite a lot, but we are gonna finally get into it because I wanted to look deeper into the chapter before doing any reactions because why is my Shida not starting? I feel like Shido is not starting because Nigeria is cooked already. Nigeria is in a very, very bad position when you ask me because Chimpachi Ego has a very powerful lineup, and Isagi has said something that is quite creepy because when he says that he has found a way to absolute and complete victory against Nigeria. That's quite bad because it's still 1 minute and I don't know. We will see. So besides our goals, Isagi, we have a flashback of the U20 of Nigeria, which is Onazi and his bros, and they're playing back in Africa, which is quite insane because it seems like Onazi is the Lion King of Nigeria. That's why the title is Hakuna Matata Onazi is here. So Onazi, first things first, he has devoured Ren. You know, we know maybe Ren is not displaying his full potential right now, but Onazi has completely devoured Ren at this point, which is quite shocking to me. And and it seems like this team is very much dependent on one guy, which is Onazi. So we'll have to see if Onazi will keep on putting those clutch moments because, oh, I don't want to lie. Onazi did some crazy stuff in this chapter, but not only him, because this chapter has cemented who and who is against who. Mizuki Shigeo is the best Japanese player. Is he currently playing? I don't know Mizuki. I will have to check him out. Mizuki Shigeo. Sounds cool. His name is cool. With with Onagi displaying the type of feats that he's showing right now. I don't wanna lie. I don't wanna lie. Nigeria seems to be cooked because Onazi is showing to be quite a it's a meme. He was recruited by Bar, Baratsuda. Batasuda. I don't know that meme, G. I don't wanna lie. I don't know if you can comment with memes here, but I would really like to say it. So Onazi is like the Lion King of Nigeria. And if that's the case, Nigeria is in a very bad position. Like if Nigeria has one striker right now who is fit and who can devour Blue Lock, because it seems like Bachira has his own player to go against. Rin seems like he has found his prey. And it seems like Aiku needs to take care of Onazi. But Onazi, will he be able to devour Isagi? Because this is quite bad for Nigeria. Julian Loki from Temu. I don't think he is like Julian Loki. I don't think Onazi is that fast. We've seen plays like this from Isagi, from Rin, so box to box, from one attack to the other. We've seen plays like this, but I really feel like Onazi is just a ordinary player who is doing great, and he doesn't show any monstrous kind of ability. besides having springs like Aiko said, but the way Onazi is playing, it feels like a random player, and all of Nigeria feels like that way. Maybe we've not seen them go fully or 100% yet, but Onazi is showing some great potential. I don't wanna lie. Taking on Rin like that, was a really great feat. But this attack was really much interesting to see because the pattern in which the attack happened on, from okay, let's start from the attack from Nigeria. You know, these guys went to the penalty area of Japan. Not even the penalty area, but the the half of Japan within 80 seconds. You know, it was like a quick counter attack or a quick attack from Onazi. Because the way they displayed their passing, their dribbling, they really trust each other because you've seen them play as kids. So the question is, are these guys the best in Nigeria, or are they lucky because of Onazi? We don't know. So if Onazi doesn't have backup plans in this game, because this seems like it's gonna be a very, very long game for Nigeria. Because Real is totally pissed right now. What Onazi did won't sit well with him. I don't wanna lie. Real will have to backfire, but my prediction is that hmm, this was quite a very shallow chapter because it was just front and back. You know. So I just wanna get the names of the Nigerian 20 team. Because but a lot of players are showing great potential. Karasu is putting on a display that I've never thought to see him play. Because that quick counter attack from Karasu was quite clean, and Nico stepping in to stop Onazi like that. You know, it seems like Block has a functional defense. They are not on fraud watch. Because if I had to rate Nico's performance in this play against Nigeria, I would say Nico put in a 6 out of 10 because he stepped in the time that was perfect. We've seen this from Aiku, from Don Lorenzo, but from not from Nico in a perspective. So with Nico pulling in clutch like this, and Onazi having a battle of heights, or yes, heights with who is this, with Ari, because it seems like this game will revolve against Aryu and Onaz. So if Aryu gets devoured by Onaz, this game is over. I know that Aiku might be able to do something with Onaz, but it's not only Onaz who we have to worry about. But the rest of the Nigerian team seems like to be just ordinary players, which is quite bad against the talents they are facing against. Maybe we'll get to learn more about each and every player. But if we talk about the 5-on-5 that we were shown, because it was the guy in classes against Karasu because they're both defensive midfielders. You know, and the formation, I don't wanna lie, Eagles formation is clean because he has Bachira and and Rio playing as attacking midfielders. You know, that duo for me will be very important going forward because Rain, Rain and Rio have not shown any types of chemical reactions before. I don't wanna lie. So I'm looking forward to see a Rio Rain chemical reaction, and I'm looking forward to seeing Rio working with Bachira because if he can keep up with Bachira, I'm telling you, if Rio can keep up with Bachira, I think Nigeria is going down. Because we've never seen Rio do anything this chapter, even Isagi. So I'm just questioning myself, how will Isagi's play go forward? You know, will Isagi want a final pass or will he just shoot for goal? Because luck is with Isagi right now, and to be honest with you, I don't feel like we should be seeing any goals right now, you know. So I just want to see the distorted reality that Isagi saw being destroyed. Because if Isagi saw something that could end the game so early, bruh, I don't want to be there. This game is so much hype. Like, it's the first game of the U20, so it has to put in a lot of drama, a lot of character development, you know, even for Nigeria, because I'm looking forward to seeing Onazi mutate. You know. I'm looking forward to seeing the Nigerian team mutate, though, because if Japan is going to destroy Nigeria, Nigeria has to be fit and ready to take on the situation. I don't know. But with the starting lineup the way it is, oh my god. Ego cooked something different here. Because Chikiri is not playing a defensive role that much, you know. Chikiri is more on attack and then backuping the defense. So it's completely satisfying to see Ego trust Chikiri so much because Chikiri will be running in this chapter and I just hope it doesn't break down. Not in this chapter. But we haven't seen anything yet from anyone because it's only Rin who pulled out his predator vision only, you know. And the confirmation that Rin has predator vision is quite scary though. I don't wanna lie. You know, this is what puts Rin in front of Bar because besides Rin's predator vision, he has a very, very dope special awareness there. Rin has completely changed Blue Lock several times. Rin is the master of Blue Lock, so will anyone be able to contain Rin? Because Rin is being shown to body anyone in Nigeria right now. Rin is taking everyone for their run in Nigeria, which is quite satisfying to see everyone. You know, Rin putting so much display and so much passion. It's quite dope. But Isagi said something quite terrifying. You know, I have transcended, so I'm seeing the complete path to victory. I don't want to lie, it's too early for that line, you know, because if Isagi is about to devour the whole of Nigeria in the first minute, ah, we have to put Isagi as the number one because Rin hasn't adapted or grasped the situation. Maybe he has. Maybe I'm just underestimating him. But if Isagi has come up with plans, because if Isagi is going to take on the role of Max Nafi, he has to have multiple ways. Hey, Andy, how are you, G? How are you, G? You know, it has to be quite a big step up for Isagi. If Isagi devours Nigeria right now, it would be quite dope. I don't know. I'm good, G. No stress, and I'm also good. It's quite great to have another anime fan from South Africa. It's quite good. So I don't know if you're caught up with Plurality, but the chapter really shifted my perspective on Blue. It really shifted my perspective against everything because hey G, how are you? No stress, welcome back G. So we're having we have a lot to look forward to in this chapter when you look at the lineup of Bullock, because every player in Bullock has different types of abilities, dog. If I have to mention what Hiyori did, Hiyori just brought the ball to the forward in just one pass. Yeah, I am as well. I also thought Bullock would get crashed immediately. They almost got crashed, dog. I don't know, like, because Bullock survived that one, that attack. Let me not say it survived. Bullock defended really well against Onazi that time, and that type of performance, it shows that Bullock stands a serious chance against beating Nigeria. And it doesn't show that Nigeria has the potential to take on Bullock, because if you look at the subbing position or the substitute of Bullock, you have Shida on the bench, you have Baru on the bench, And if Onazi is the only hope of Nigeria, if Onazi is the only egoist in Nigeria, that's really bad, because he will get devoured soon. I really, really think that Onazi will get devoured really soon, and that is not what Nigeria would like to see. Because if Onazi is devoured by Isagi or anyone else, because Onazi is the only one right now who is helping out the defense, and if Onazi right now cannot stop what Isagi is cooking, and Isagi transcends what Onazi has showed, whew, Rin might be cooked also, because if Onazi was capable of devouring Rin like that, Onazi just took on Rin with a smile, and what Nigeria has shown is that they have talent, but is it enough? Because if the boys are so dependent on each other, they might face a difficult situation against Bullock. Bullock is not a very functional system that they can go against, because if they are worried about the forwards, they can see Aiku there already in the attack. Anyone in Bullock can do anything. That's what's insane about Bullock. And if the boys are going to be predictable in such a way that the ball ends up in Onazi every time, Bullock will show them flames. Because here right now might have played a pass, but if next time he plays another pass, God, God forgive me, it will be shocking to me, because he already has the nerve to go for goal. Each and every player in Bullock has shown us ways to score goals. That's the philosophy of Bullock. That's what's so terrifying about Bullock, is that Bullock doesn't depend on one person to score a goal. That's the power of what Ego has built. Ego has built a team that doesn't need to survive with strikers, because if if Rio pulls the same move as Onagi just pulled, like if Rio copied what Onazi just did, the same attack, and just tries to pull it out, if Rio tries to pull that attack out, yo, alright, how are you? It's cooked. Everybody's cooked, because we have Rio to copy each and every one of the Nigerians team. And if Ed Soul, how are you? Finally a new stream. Oh, damn, it's been a while. It's been a while. Some tough times have passed. I don't know lie, but I'm back. To don't stress. But if Rio copies everything that Nigeria has to throw at Bullock, I think that Nigeria is already devoured. So if one player is capable of devouring the whole of Nigeria, that's quite scary, because the defensive line, the core defensive line it's not even Chikiri, it's Ariu, it's Aiku, and it's who is this boy? Nico. And the rest of the 7 players are on attack. Besides Karasu, I'm easy. Nigeria are getting slapped. Straight. It doesn't look good for Nigeria. Nigeria is cooked, because if Onazi, the Lion King, right now doesn't step up to the kind of situation that is facing Nigeria, because if we don't have to worry, if for real, Hakuna Matata Onazi is here, all I'm saying is a draw. Dog. Yeah. No, dog, it will take a lot from Nigeria to pull a draw from this. I don't know the types of evolution they have to go through because it's only 4 players right now who look decent on Nigeria's side. We know that Nico also saved maybe Kakamaru in that time. We don't know if Kakamaru could have stopped the shot from Onazi. Does anyone think that Kakamaru could have saved that? No problem, because Onazi didn't hesitate, though. You know. And in regards to seeing what I saw already in Nah, I don't think it's gonna be a draw. And Kumu is not satisfied with the draw. I'm also not satisfied with the draw. With how things are going, it doesn't okay, let's say on paper, because right now we are only judging the situation on paper. You know, the lineup for Blue Lock seems insane, dog. If you put in Chikiri in the attack, you put in Hiyori in the attack, you put in you put in Rio Bachira, and then it's Karasu there because Karasu won't seem to be like fully on attack, but Karasu will be in a more defensive midfield position in this game. I think that Karasu will just focus on doing his duty, and then the the counter attacks will be on Shigiri and Hiyori. Hiyori doesn't have to go forward that much because he can just bring the ball forward with his passes. That's what's dope with Hiyori. So this will be more of a 5-man defense and a 6-man attack, and then Chikiri will be he will be putting a lot of work. I don't know, because the left side of the field needs to, or the right side, because Chikiri is on the right side. It seems like Onazi is carrying this Nigerian team alone, but I'm not gonna say that yet. The match just started. Yes, the match that just started, because a lot of things haven't happened yet. We've seen 2 players go on full mode, not even full, because I might think that Rin is just on 10% right now. Rin is not on destroy mode, but I think that Onazi might have done it. If Rin was looking for someone to destroy, I think Onazi has done it. Onazi has given him someone to just destroy. So we might expect Rin to go and destroy mode soon. What if Rio copies Shido and does a dragon or big bang drive? That's possible, dog. That's possible because Rio is working so much on instinct. That's what's more terrifying about Rio. Rio hasn't realized what he's doing. He's in a development phase, and if he stays on his instincts, that's not a bad thing, because instincts are also sharp. And with the IQ that Rio has, I think it won't be such of a problem or much of a problem. But if Rio can do anything right now, Rio can do anything because Rio has gone against every player in Blue Lock, and he has seen the drives or the fires. He has got the footage from Ego, because Ego was doing so much for Rio in that training session. I don't wanna lie. So because right now I'm thinking that Rio will be there for the planetary hotline. More people are joining. That's nice. This is the normal situation under the G. The problem is the audience retention, because you might, but it's fine. Being big sometimes is quite a stress too, but we will get there. It's just a process. Don't worry. But the guy who has dreadlocks in let me look at the team of Nigeria, because I've forgotten their names. But everyone in Nigeria has put in a good display. I don't wanna lie, except the guy who seems like he's on defense. Everyone in Nigeria has put in good show. I don't wanna lie. So when you see the chapter, like it starts with a flashback. So that flashback for me is quite decent. That flashback for me is quite decent. I don't wanna lie because this shows something. This shows a different type of football that ego is chasing for. Is not chasing for. The boys seem to be fully, fully, fully trusting each other. That's what I'm seeing in the Nigerian team. These boys trust each other, and I think that they know each other too much for Blue Lock. If there's one threat that Blue Lock is facing, is the fact that the Nigerian team is just great. You know, I don't wanna lie. Nigeria has put on a good show. The goalkeeper seems to be on flood watch because he was saved by Onazi. Because for some time people are just crying. Why can't we see goalkeepers doing their job in Blue Lock? We cannot always see strikers do what Onazi just did because Onazi just pulled a Isagi feat. That's what I'm saying. Onazi might be the lifeline for for Nigeria. He is here. I don't want to lie. And he seems like to be him. And the type of player that can take on Onazi might be Baru. Might be Baru. So I will hop on to Blue Lock chapter 313 just in a bit. Not even 313. Yeah, 313 was fine because they showed us the lineup first. So that's quite to be expected. But this chapter is building up so well, and the commentators, having commentators is always fun. Having commentators, the spectators, the crowd, because Blue Lock's crowd, I think, is different, dog. Or the Japanese crowd is different. They've shown us the love of football, and I think this game will be quite dope with them. It doesn't seem like they're going to be judging Blue Lock in any way or judging Nigeria in any way. But it will also be great to see Nigeria having some support. What do you think Isagi's vision of victory against Nigeria is? How do you think Nigeria gets cooked? I think the only way that Nigeria gets cooked in this chapter is by numbers. You know, if they're going to depend on one person, it's going to be a real problem for Nigeria. If this mentality of depending on Onazi is going to go on, they will be shocked at what Blue Lock represents, because Blue Lock even shook Nigeria at first glance. If they are if they are going to be taught about individualism, it's going to be this chapter. I don't wanna lie. If Nigeria is going to be taught by about individualism, it's going to be this chapter, and it's going to be brutal because Japan had to, or the being unpredictable. Yeah, Blue Lock will cook them in being unpredictable because Blue Lock has different types of plays and they are guaranteed to work. They are guaranteed to work. They are guaranteed to work because Blue Lock is not a one-player system. Jack. Having Bachira there, it's proof enough because Bachira is one of the top goal scorers, and in fact, everyone who is in the starting lineup right now has put on goals in a way, except for Hiyori and the other defense. You know. So we have Onazi, we have Kuso, we have Sadiq, we have Bello, we have Umar, we have Ezekiel. But I'm thinking Omar, Kuso, Bello, and Onazi are the core members of the Nigerian team. You know, I don't know if maybe they are spread around the positions, but they seem to be the core of the Nigerian team. So we'll have to see some fits in the other teams as well. But if 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 Nigeria tries to come with another pattern that will go to Onazi, I think it will be very difficult for Nigeria to outsmart Isagi. Because that's always the lifeline of beating Nigeria. Blue Lock. You need to outsmart Isagi, and at this point, if they are centrally playing around on who is this guy? Is it Onazi? Or yes, it's Onazi. So if Nigeria is going to continue playing around Onazi like this, they're in serious trouble. They need to outsmart Isagi. They need to outsmart Isagi, and I don't want to lie. Isagi has a very good team around him because the football IQ right now in the Blue Lock team. Ooh, 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 ooh. You know, no one right now in Blue Lock seems to be playing selfish, and no one will. In Blue Lock right now, it will be good chemical reactions all over the pitch, no matter how you look at it, because Hiyori seems to be connecting really well with Rin. Hiyori has trusted Rin with the first pass, and that's a great feat. We must expect more of those passes, and they should be more deadly from Hiyori, because right now Rin is carrying the Blue Lock team too, in a sense, because no one has shown us the ability to take on the Blue Lock team as much as Rin did. Rin has completely destroyed everyone in the Nigerian team, easy, with physicality, with technique. And the most interesting display that Rin showed in this chat was his battle against the Nigerian team with physique. He's not even on destroyer mode yet. So imagine if Rin starts picking up everyone in Nigeria, it will be serious problems for Nigeria. So will Onazi be there again to stop? Because it seems like this chapter will be a chapter like the one that had Don Lorenzo. The one who is not marked by Onazi will be the one to score goals. It seems to be a chapter like that because if Onazi pulls a double save right now, but Bachira got devoured too. A lot of players just got beat. But Bachira being as playful as he is, I don't think it's something we need to be worried of. No, because Bachira is not part of the defense. Bachira is a attacking player. So defensively, I'm not looking forward to Bachira pulling defensive plays. Nah, 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 nah. That should be left to Karasu and all the defense. Even Hiyori, I don't want to see Hiyori pulling some defensive moves unless he has to cover for the blind spots for the defense. I think that will be Hiyori's important role in this chapter. Hiyori needs to cover for the blind spots. Though. But the number 8 of Nigeria seems to be putting on a great display. Because immediately he used Isagi. You know, he used Isagi, dog. He used Isagi in the first play. And that shows great ambition and great determination from the player. He doesn't seem to be one to be taken lightly. And I think he too has the power to shake things up. But the guy with dreadlocks will give Blue Lock a problem. Because besides his dribbling, he seems to have something about him, though. The way he got that ball from Bachira, dog, he went around Bachira and then he went back around him again. What sort of trick was that? Even Bachira was like, what a neat spin. So Bachira and this guy will be battling their lives out, and I think they will be both enjoying themselves. Isagi finna be subbed off. I think Isagi doesn't need to be subbed off right now. If there will be a player that will be subbed off, it should be Rin because according to how the game's going. But Rin and Isagi are the same person, right? What the fuck am I saying? I think it will be better to get them both off the field. You know, getting them both off the field will be more better than having them play full match because if you look at things, Baru needs to play too. Shido needs to play too, and we have to test, Green for Shido, yeah. So I think Ego will switch to a ultra in because I don't think that Baru won't play this out too. If you wanna do something or if you wanna test something right now, this is the time for it. I don't lie. If you really wanna try something as a coach right now, and if Ego wants to cook something, he needs to try it out right now. Because he can't be going with tactics that he's not sure about in the game against England. Because England is next. So we have to see how Baru fits in this play of Bullock. How the I'm back live. Sorry about that, guys. My phone my lights are just switched off and everything went down. So when I look at the type of situation that Nigeria is facing, I'm just internet acting up, yeah, as always at school. But I tried to order Wi-Fi. I'm not sure why I haven't been called because it's been days now. So when I'm seeing situations like this, I'm like, did the talent of Japan? Because I don't know, like when the boys came in, they were diamonds in the rough. When Blue Lock came in firstly, they were diamonds in the rough. And we might have lost players that we might feel like they should be there. We might have lost some soldiers that we wouldn't want to lose, but I think that we would see something really, really fun in this team of Blue Lock because having Sendo as a backup attacking midfielder, you know, I really want to see a scavenger and a predator, which is Baru and Sendo coming in because I feel like those two coming in will shift the dynamic and the plays at which block are going on. And I think when that happens, Bachira will also come out because if I'm really really looking forward to any type of show right now, I wanna see Isagi against Baru and Shido. How will Isagi hold up against the most insane egoists in Pidot? Because we haven't seen much from Baru and Isagi since the the Italy Ubers and which game and German Menshine or something like that. Busted Moonshine. So I understand that maybe in the Neo Eagles League, these boys were playing in teams that went fully planked. When you think of Shido or Baru almost played better when Snaffy was around, because when Snaffy was there, he didn't need to depend on Don So Rio Mikage, I think he will need to step up his game when he gets to play with players Shido and Baru, because the passes won't come from Nico only, not even Nico, but Hiyori only. Hiyori is not the only one that needs to show us the passes. Even Karasu must show us something because when he was shown in Hiyori's flashback, he seemed to be cool, wearing number 10 and all that. He seemed like he can take on any roles. But I'm quite sad that we haven't seen many goals from our defensive middle fielder, which is the guy. What's his name? I was calling his name right now. Karasu. We haven't seen so much goals from Karasu. Like we saw a center goal before a Karasu goal, before a Hiyori goal, which is an insane feat. But I don't know if if Sendo is going to keep up his golden formula of goals, like always being in the spot of picking up where the strikers left off, I think that Sendo will put in a great amount of goal. I'm looking forward to a Sendo goal in this chapter too, if the boy comes in, because if there is total chaos that is caused by a strike, you better trust that Sendo will be there to pick up the scraps, because the hyena that he showed, a hyena is always winning. When it comes to a hyena, hyenas are always winning, chance. I don't lie. So if his instincts are that sharp, because it seems like Sendo will be able to smell a goal where it is. Sendo is going to be fired on that because Sendo would be a link that will completely. Next chapter will have two goals, one from Rio and another one from Onazi. If there's going to be a goal, I think that the panels are going to be more of the reaction panels. So I think it will be one goal, and then the next chapter will be a lead up to a goal or a build up to a goal, and then the other chapter is a goal. Something like that. I think with the audience here, and I think the goal really need to shake the entire world. We need to see everyone, because this is the first game after all of Bullock, and the first game of any tournament or the first goal of a World Cup. In fact, I know that the most important goals in the World Cup is the opening goal and the closing goal. Every time, like those goals are always repeated. Like the first goal in a World Cup is very much important. So the opening goal will get so much praise that it will be insane. I don't wanna lie. And if Isagi is getting the opening goal, my God, the boy will become a superstar. Everyone in any team we play against, they will be against or after Isagi. But I think when I think of the importance of the first goal in a World Cup, like what I said, Rio Big Bang Drive. It is possible, dog. Rio is in a very dangerous position because if Rio can recreate Barro's shooting and Rain's shooting, he has every type of tools that he needs to score from his position. Even Chikiri, because I think that Rio has played a lot with Chikiri, and I know he might not copy Chikiri's speed, it might be impossible, but I think Rio can pull off the golden zone which Chikiri had. And if you multiply Rio's Chikiri's golden goal with Baru's type of shooting, Rio's type of shooting, or not even Rio, because Rio hasn't shown us a lot of long range shots. But if we think about Rio's copy or chameleon ability, if he really copied the way Baru shoots and the way Rain shoots from distance, and the Big Bang drives or moments like the Big Bang drive. But I feel like the Big Bang drive is almost, you can't copy the Big Bang drive. It's that goal you see once in a lifetime. I feel like the Big Bang drive is that type of a goal. It's a goal you only see once in a generation. Ibrahimovic didn't pull off that type of goal by luck. He did it with intent. So that was a insane goal. So repeating a feat like that, I don't know that it's quite a big ask. But Rio has been shown to copy golazos a lot of times, so I wouldn't put it past him. English is faking me. Fuck. I wouldn't put it past Rio during the Big Bang Drive, but I think we'll have to see a lot from the boys. But the opening goal will be a very very important goal in Bullock. And if Isagi gets to take the opening goal, the others would have done a very insane job. Because I don't think from the position Isagi is in right now, he will be able to score a goal. He needs to draw Onazi out. Because if Onazi is there, everything will be fine for Nigeria. So Onazi doesn't need to be anywhere where Isagi is if he wants to score a goal. And Onazi right now is the goalkeeper, so we have a serious problem. And the boys' flexibility, because Onazi is showing me the type of physicality that Ryu has, the type of potential Ryu has. Because if Ryu was a striker, I think he would be doing the same type of things that uh, Onazi is doing. Because that Caesar goal, if Onazi pulled off that goal, I'm telling you, dogs. Because Onazi didn't hesitate. When Aiku stepped up to stop Onazi, he thought that Onazi would be willing to take him on, but Onazi had already seen or saw a way for a goal, and he took that shot. But thanks to Nico for filling in the gaps, of course, but the way Onazi stepped to the stage, like Onazi seems to be a very, very world class player. And the type of defense he pulled up, it reminds me of Ari. Only Ari can do something like that. Or Loki, because Loki is also insane, but I don't think he has the god speed that Loki has. Because Loki is really much unfair, you know. So we have to see what the team has to offer. But for me, I go with who's playing in the six for Blue Lock. So the sixth position is separated into three players right now, because you sometimes you have a twin six and sometimes you have a lone six, because there are different types of formations. But I think right now the players playing six there are three of them. It's Rio, it's Bachira, and and Karasu. That's the number six I have. Isagi is gonna pass to Hiyori, and Hiyori is gonna pass to Rio. That is a little outside the box, and Dragon Drive goal, then restart the match, and Onazi scores fast. That is my prediction. It's just that if if Blue Lock, or if the U20 World Cup is going to be that much of an important event in the Blue Lock universe, I think different types of players will be watching this game. You know, I think we might see a U20 player looking at this or watching this match. Because the first match of the U20 World Cup, you don't have any game going on. Like when the first game is going, that's the only game at that time. Because the World Cup might have 2 to 3 games happening at the same time. 2 to 3 games, but this game, which is the opening game, it's as important as the final in such a way that you don't have another game going on. So we will have to see who is looking or who is watching. If we see anyone important in the reactions of the goal, because we have a lot of build up for the first goal, and it was quick. I don't wanna lie. The build up for the first goal was quick, and I don't wanna lie. I'm looking forward to it. Though. I'm looking forward to it, but I think this is the time where we see Michael Kaiser again, and we see what type of a character that Michael Kaiser has become. I think this is the type of time where we see a lot of players. If we see if Iglias Bani is coming to the tournament or not. But I know Bani might not be watching the game, but I think if there's a time to see him and a time to confirm if he's coming, it's the first goal. Have we met a U20 from England? I only remember the master from the MEL. We haven't met a U20 from England at all, you know. That's why I'm saying that we will be seeing a lot of players or a lot of reactions from the first group. We have to talk. They have to show us something, or something to build up the U20. They have to show us something. They owe us that much, because even if seeing Don Lorenzo is fine, Agi would be a great show for the reactions too. Agi will be a great show. Do you remember Ag? Yes, I do remember Ag. And he might be coming to the U20 because a lot of players or a lot of talents will be coming to the U20 to appeal to their first teams, because like Itoshi Sai, if a U20 like Itoshi Sai is struggling to get the first or the to the first team, you know, even Kaiser was not in the first team coming to Block, but he might have gotten a promotion or something like that. So I think the U20 tournament will be jam packed with talent, you know. So we'll have to see people like reacting to this because if Isagi scores this goal, I'm hoping that we see some Isagi plays from one of the U20s, because if Isagi does pull off this goal, he will be insane, and that type of hype or that type of reaction will be deserved from Isagi. The hype will be real, though. Like if seeing one of the U20 players glazing Isagi will be a relief because I don't think all of the U20 players will be Jags as much as Loki or Kaiser and Sai Itoshi now. I think one will be very much impressed about Isagi and will be very much interested in going against Isagi. I think we will see different types of characters from the U20. Now, bro, it's always Isagi scoring. Yes, but in this time, it's important for Isagi to pull in the first goal, because it's gonna be repetitive as shit. It will be good if Isagi scores the first goal and then he goes out. It will be good if he scores the first goal and then he goes out because as much as I said that the first goal, you don't know how important the first goal of the World Cup is important because it will be the first highlight of the tournament. So if the MC doesn't have it, it will be a very serious question as to who will have it because seeing a genius score this goal, it will be satisfying, but I think we need a talented learner to pull in a insane goalers. And if we have to see that the two-can volley is it does it really work? I think this is the time to prove the two-can volley. Because I don't wanna lie, I'm putting the two-can volley on fraud watch, because they might have said that the two-can volley is a deadly weapon for Isagi, but deep down I feel like the two-can volley is not that dangerous. So will they prove me wrong? Because the two-can volley is just it has hype. I don't wanna lie, the two-can volley has hype, but as luck is descending on Isagi, will Isagi bury the goal? Because it would be good for Blue Lock, I don't wanna lie, but I really feel like there are different types of players who are there already. If Chigiri is in full speed attack or full speed ahead, I wouldn't put it past Isagi putting it in the golden zone of Chigiri. Chigiri could pull off a good goal, but this goal needs to mean something for the U20. And if Ilyas Bani is coming to the U20, I think this is the good time to see Isagi because if Ilyas Bani hates people who smile when they are talking about something they love, and we saw that Ilyas Bani and Isagi when they met, it was a clash of egos, but it was kind. So if there's a chance for any U20 players to see Isagi, it's this time, dog. But I know the story is centered around Isagi that much, but the boy deserves it. He's the only one who stood against Kaiser and really, really beat Kaiser when it comes to goal. No one else in Block was able to do that. I know that Rin was able to put off a hat trick. I know that Bar was able to put on a hat trick, but when it comes to pure goals, it was only Isagi who can take on a U20 player and beat him twice. Isagi beat Kaiser twice. So if Isagi has transcended anything, if Isagi is getting as much hype, it needs to be school. This school will be the lifeline of Block, and I hope they don't disappoint us because The last panel, put so much on Isagi. It put so much on Isagi. Like you cannot say so much as a MC and not put up the display, because we just saw Rin get devoured by Onazi. What the hell does Isagi mean that I have transcended? Like what? What? Like I was still confused at the feat that Onazi pulled, and then 2 pages later, I hear Isagi say that he has transcended and he's seeing absolute victory against who? Onazi. Yo, like Onazi doesn't seem to be trying right now. He's not even breaking a sweat. He's not even bothered Onazi right now. He's not even stressing out. And then Isagi just says, I have transcended. I see a way or a total path to victory. Against who? Because Onazi is here. I'm seeing Onazi. I feel Onazi's presence. I don't wanna lie. I don't wanna lie. I might be glazing Onazi too much, but I really, really feel Onazi's presence. Onazi has shown us something great. Although he was stopped right now by the by the defense of the U-Twins, they were able to stop him, but that was only one play. And that is why I'm saying that in one play, Onazi just showed us something different. He showed us that he's in the level of Rin and Michael Kaiser in one play, dog. Because the way Nico stopped Onazi, that's Don Lorenzo's playbook. Just wait until there's a gap you need to fill, and then you fill that gap. I think that Nico might have learned that from Don Lorenzo, but the Blue Lock defense seems to be really tough. It's tough. I don't wanna lie. Igor cooked a special team when it comes to Blue Lock. I don't wanna lie, guys. This team is so special. I'm even lost for words to describe it. You know, from functional fullbacks, because their fullbacks are very very good. I don't wanna lie. The fullbacks are really good, and I really hope that Hiyori learned something from Isagi when it comes to defending from the front. I really hope that much because Chikiri has shown us that he is good. You know, Chikiri just needs a good team, and as much as he has won now, I think that the boys are going to put Chikiri in greater heights. Because Chikiri will need to show us what he can do when he's in a team of world class players. Chikiri has shown us that he has the power or the potential to devour Isagi and Ray. Even Michael Kaiser, Chikiri devoured Michael Kaiser. Michael Kaiser said it himself that he is straight out beautiful. I can't do anything against that. So I know there was a chapter where Nagi was stopping Chikiri from chasing who is this Loki? Because there was a time where in Blue Lock spin-off, where in episode Nagi they were facing the top 5 players, and then I think that Chikiri was trying to stop Loki so much that Nagi got worried and was like, "Hey, princess, dial it down, dog. Princess, don't put in so much effort into stopping Loki. You will break down." And that was before the Chris Prince training. So I'm really looking forward to the difference in which Chris Prince has played against Chikiri. Will Chikiri be able to do anything against Loki? Because if they buy him a second or two, if Isagi and Rin buy Chikiri a second or two, or if Rio is able to buy Loki a second, Chikiri must be able to keep up or to sprint ahead against Loki. But we don't know. We don't know. But the Panther is showing us great feats, but will he be able to go against Godspeed Loki? Because Princess has been shown to be a straight out talent when it comes to speed. In Japan, when it comes to speed, no one beats Chikiri. Even Zantetsu's that guy. He comes second to Chikiri because even though he has acceleration, Chikiri has the smarts to beat his type of speed. So will Chikiri come up with a solution for Loki? I think that will put him as one of the most wanted defenders in any league. I am telling you, if Chikiri is able to stop Loki in this tournament in one or two plays, even putting pressure on Loki, because Loki doesn't get so much pressure. It was only Noel Noah, the player that I saw put pressure on Loki. So if Chikiri can transcend what we've seen from him and put in the type of speed as Loki, because even the shot that Chigiri does, the Panther shot or the 66 Panther shot, it's quite fast. I don't want to lie. It has a lot of speed, even for a killer. Because when you look at Kevin goals, they usually take time, and then when they come with serious power, it's just insane accuracy from that player. It's not to be messed with. So Chikiri has a lot to show. Even Hiyori has been shown to be the type of guy to go for goals. Will we see Hiyori score a goal? We don't know. In the defense, there are only three players who have shown aspirations of becoming strikers. It's only Nico has wanted to become a striker, but we've never seen Nico going that far as to bury a goal. But and what do you think about Japan versus England? Mm, England is cooked. England is cooked, because if this game goes south for Blue Lock, if this game goes south for Blue Lock and it ends up in a draw, Blue Lock will be able to stand against England without a doubt. Because this is not even their strongest lineup yet. This is not even their strongest lineup yet, because they could have done a lot of things, dog. They could have done a lot of things, because Bachira is playing in a different role right now. And I don't want to lie, I think Bachira will have the most freedom out of everyone in Blue Lock. Hear me out. Baru is gonna score the last goal against England. I really wish that since this game is evolving around Isagi and Rin, let's just see Baru versus Shido in the next game. Dog, I think that would be insane. That would be just that would be a great lineup, seeing Shido versus Baru without Rin, without Isagi, because I really think that we saw more of Rin and Isagi than Shido and Baru. Rin and Shido have been, not even Shido, Rin and Isagi have been enjoying plot armor a lot. A lot. So I really want to see Shido and Baru come in. Even this game, when this game reaches your 70 minutes or maybe 60 minutes, Baru or Isagi needs to come out. Not even Baru. Rin or Isagi needs to come out. And then once that happens, you put in Shido. And then after Shido, you take out Isagi, you put in Baru. You have Baru and Shido ending the Nigeria game. I think that would be important, because not only how the game starts is important in a football match, but how you end the game. If you're going to go full attack in the first half, you need to have the same amount or the same ability in the second half. Because if you're going to pack the bars at the end of the game, you must expect to come back. You must expect a comeback. So if Blue Lock is going to attack and win, it needs to do it from start to finish. And that will take out a lot of stamina from different players. And lucky enough, the football world has changed. We have 5 substitutes right now. 5 substitutes. And I, this just clicked to me. I think Kyorachin will go hard with Baru and Shido. You know, Kyorachin will go so hard, because I think those guys at Soul 5, yeah, we really, really, isn't it 3? No, the rules changed, dog. I think before your 2022 World Cup, it was 3 substitutes, but I think after COVID, things have changed. Like we have a lot of substitutes, even though we don't see coaches using that number of substitutes often in a game. It's quite risky to substitute 5 players, but if there's a man who's capable of doing 3 to 4 substitutes in one game, I think it's Chimpachi Igotel. The number of substitutes have changed from 3 to 5, and that is fun when you look at a lineup or a lineup like Blue Lock. That gives us a lot of this gives you the ability to bring in Sendo and Shido at the same Sendo and Paru at the same time. Because if you have Sendo, Paru, and then you have the defense of Italy Ubers, you already have the Italy Ubers system. You just need Rio to step up in the or to help the Italy Ubers. And Hiyori too, he needs to fit in the designs of the Italy Ubers. But I think once you bring in Sendo and Paru, you get Italy Ubers. And then Bachira, I think Bachira is so free. His Jinga is so free that you can feed him with any play. As much as Neymar was able to go from Barcelona to PSG, I think Chikiri will be the greatest link between the entire team and Shido. Because the greatest egoist in Blue Lock, Bachira is contending for that lineup. So I'm really looking forward to those type of interactions because I really think that Baru and Bachira, not even Baru, but Shido and Baru will be hard. And if we understand that Bachira is a player that understands freedom, I think he will give Shido insane amounts of freedom with the types of passes he will give him. You know, if Sai Itoshi was giving Shido crazy passes, I think Bachira will be doing more than what Sai did. And what do you think about the round of 16? Who is Japan gonna play against? Okay, so besides who Japan is going to be playing against, we need to go down which matches are important. Morocco. I think Morocco will be playing in another match that won't be shown in Prague. Because as much as I said that there can be 2 teams playing at the same time in a World Cup. So I think that Morocco will make it to the round of 16, but it won't be shown or it won't be playing against Prague. I don't think Prague will go against 2 Japanese teams at the same time because people are looking forward to Prague against America, and we need to have that soon. I'm telling you, hi. Sorry, sorry. So I'm not trying to destroy your spirits. I know you love your country, but me and Morocco have unfinished business because the women's AFCON final is going to be Morocco against South Africa. So I'm looking forward to that match, and I'm hoping that my egoists, which are the Banyana, they don't disappoint me. South Africa and Morocco, the CAF Confederations female final. But I don't wanna lie, like female football is getting more and more interesting by the year. But with the changes of football we speak about, do you think we will see the power of corruption in this block? Nigeria won against Morocco in the women's final. So South Africa, what? I really need to check. I really need to check. But I thought South Africa made it to the finals. Damn, Banyana, how can they shame me like this? How dare they? They won 3-2. A game of goals. Like I really feel like the World Cup, guys, we are about to see a lot of things as football fans around the night because the World Cup is coming in the next 6 months. You know, and having an event like a World Cup is just generational. So, what are your bets on the real life World Cup? I know we have the Blue Lock World Cup that we have to talk about, but in the real life World Cup, which team is going to bury everyone? Who's coming out on top? Because right now, who is another player that's Kaiser's boy? Me, I want to see technicians. I'm tired of strikers. Ooh, I already you coming in with some hate, dog. With some hate. You know, I really would like to see players like Don Lorenzo too, because as much as Don Lorenzo was the best U20 player we got to see like as much as we saw the power of Sai Itoshi and Kaiser, but Don Lorenzo brought a different kind of football that we've never seen before. You know, a player who's a libero, Don Lorenzo putting a feet. That's different kind of technique, you know. And that is what we, or maybe that is why we watch anime, to get something that's mind blowing. You know? It's not a fan that you get a libero like Don Lorenzo. So would I like to see Italy come back again against Block? Heck yeah, you know. So that's why I'm saying maybe we should see Don Lorenzo again. Don Lorenzo, I feel like we need to see him, because if we need to have the best strikers in the world, going against the best defense in the world won't be such a bad idea. Thank you, Edson. I want to see Modric and Petri types of technicians. Ooh, that would be dope, dog. I don't want to lie to you. That would be dope. Like, but you're thinking we will get to see the entire U20 team, the top the top 11 of the entire generation. But we have how many games? We have, so each and every team will be playing like maybe 8 games or something like that. 8 games. So if we have Don Lorenzo, I really want to see, guys. I don't want to lie. And Michael Kaiser too. You know, Michael Kaiser needs to be back. But I would like to see Michael Kaiser. Maybe a reaction of Michael Kaiser won't be that bad, you know. Because if there are 2 games going on, I just hope that they show us the other goals that will happen, maybe in other teams. You know. It would be very cool, like if, you know, when you're watching maybe real life football, maybe it's playing. There's Real Madrid playing, and then at the same time maybe Atletico Madrid is playing. You know, and then when Atletico Madrid scores a goal, they show the game or the goal that Atletico Madrid scored. You know. If you have that type of thing, all little topic, but for you, who is gonna win the Ballon d'Or? Ooh, dog. Usmane Dembele deserves the Ballon d'Or, dog. You know, Dembele. I know, like when it comes to the hardest careers that we've seen, I think it's Dembele and Mbappe. You know, Mbappe has been waiting for the Ballon d'Or for a very, very long time. Even if he didn't put in a good show, it would be blasphemy if they give anyone but Mbappe a Ballon d'Or. I think that would be blasphemy, dog. He almost won 2 World Cups. You know, the best performance we've ever seen. First Dembele, second Lamine Yamal, and then third Mbappe for the king. Yeah, that's possible. I just want to see proper midfielders, because midfielders are my favorite. So Ness has to source in the World Cup and stop doing this thing of living by Kaiser. You know, like, okay, already, this is the question. Do you think Sai is the only middle fielder for the U20? Do you think it's just Sai and do you think it's just Sai and a defensive midfielder, or you have another midfielder that is deadly when it comes to the U20? Because Charles is fine, you know, but I feel like Charles is a kid compared to Sai. Charles is a kid compared to Sai. You know, I'm a midfielder too in real life. Yo, dogs, you guys like taking on difficult roles. You know? But the midfield position is one of the most exciting midfielders. But I'm looking forward to midfielders from Spain. Oh, My God, I love passing too at so I don't wanna lie. Passing is the greatest type of football I've ever played. Played. Like passing and attacking spaces. Once you play that type of football, passing and attacking spaces, and then visual or being aware of your surroundings. I think once you get to that level of kind of football, you will get to enjoy football. But I think Spain needs to go hard with midfielders, and England too. That's what I'm saying. Real ballers. Uh, we need to see them. And Brazil, though. Brazil needs to show us real passion. You know, Brazil needs to show us talent, passion, and hard work. Because to be one of the best players in Brazil, it must take some insane hard work. Because we've seen the amount of talent to come from Brazil. Like I'm telling you, Ronaldinho and Ronaldo, CR9. I'm sure CR9 had players to go against. Even Pele won the second World Cup. Even without Brazil or something. Why did you not post a video for today? In the past 2 days, I was waiting for more context. I was waiting for more context because I felt like I would be rushing into the chapter if I didn't get translations from people who went through the chapter properly. Because even though I don't trust the translations I got, but I really wanted to understand what was behind Onazi because the way the nigga was just putting clutch moments, it shocked me. I don't know, like it shocked me. And then when I got to the spoilers saying that Isagi is transcended anything, did you read Hunter x Hunter, man? The problem is it lost me, dog. I can't find the final scene of Gon and his father. I've been looking for that chapter for a very long time, but I can't find that chapter at all. The only midfielders I can think of is Ness, Charles, Sai. Maybe I'm forgetting others. Yes, those are the two midfielders. Those are the three midfielders I can think of too. And I think Rio needs to put in a show too because we cannot depend on Sai Itoshi. And Hiyori is not ready for the midfield role, dog. The midfield role needs so much, and Hiyori can take in enough information. I don't want to lie, but with types of talents that the U20 will be packing, dog. Because let's say we have the best of each and every team. Because I'm believing that academy players will be coming out in numbers. I'm telling you, there will be prodigies, there will be hard workers, we'll have all types of talent included in the U20. So it won't be easy. Sai is only coming to play because Bani, I think. Yeah, that's what he said. But Bani doesn't have anything to show in the U20. It's like the way Lamine Yamal didn't go to the U20 tournament. You know, if Bani plays in this tournament, I think he might want someone to crash so bad. And that's why it will need Isagi to score the first goal and to be the face of everything. I think that will be enough to make Bani tempted to go there. But if there is nothing that will drag Bani to go to the U20, I mean, the boy has nothing to prove, guys. The boy is a regular at Barca. So the question is, do you think Barca is willing to get Bani injured on a U20 tournament? Heck nah. Hell to the no. And knowing Barcelona, they might like restrict Bani from going to the U20 because they might have other talents that they will want to showcase to the world to sell them because Barcelona is not just a football team, it's a business at the end of the day. So if Bani is in the U20, I will be shocked. This is why I say I really want to see the boy. Flash. Yeah, it's the same with Loki. Why are senior men's football players playing in the U20? I don't know. Me too, or I didn't know. It is quite. Okay, I might understand that Loki is a genius, you know. Loki wants to prove himself against everyone. Loki is just childish, dog. You know, I think that Loki is childish. So Loki coming to the U20, he might have vendetta against Isagi. You know, he might want to prove that Isagi is not that good, or Isagi is not as good as they think. You know, Loki coming all out for Isagi is not something that's hard for me to believe, because Isagi was able to draw Kaiser out. You know, Kaiser came just for Isagi, but Don Lorenzo came because Snuffy was there and he didn't want to be left behind. You know, so Don Lorenzo was the only one who genuinely wanted to be there in Block. Also increase his value because he loves money. You know, but if if I think that Loki has to be in the same position, I think he would do the same thing. But this will be bad for Loki because although he will remain one of the top talents, I think an egoist, but I think he will take this one. Anyone stepping Loki right now is insane. You know, I know Kunigami might be able to put in a performance against Loki, but Loki is just him. And Iglias Bani is him too. Loki is younger than 20. What do you mean, Oratini? But you know, Loki is not younger than 20. You might think Loki is younger than 20, but she depends on Loki. You know, so we have to look at it's only just anime tag, you know, but why would a world class player come to 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 the U20, you know? It's not like he has for the U20 for adults, so I don't understand why he's going there. To get his SBTs, I understand that because that would be a very dumb move, you know. Being dragged to the mud by just second rate, you know, because he thinks he's the king of football right now. So it will be very good to see Loki go down in tears. It's about how good these players are. Some young players are too good to be playing in the U20. Like for sure, for sure. Even Itoshi Rin, you know, like the next U20 tournament, Itoshi Rin coming to play again in the U20 tournament. It might be to win. Yeah, that's true. And so just came with a very great solution to win. Yeah. I was playing first team with David when we saw him. So do you think that Bunny would go there just to prove that he is capable of taking on the entire generation of of the Blue Lock Society? Because if Bunny wants even Messi went from first team to the U20 World Cup, right? I think so. I really think that Messi played in the World Cup for the U20. So and Messi won it, you know. So if Barney is going down the same lines, I might understand the reasons why Barney might want to come out, because the U20 is a really good place for any player to be, you know. Even Barney, as much as Barney is decorated, going to the U20 is good for him too. I think it is good, you know, because the type of hype that the Blue Lock has, doc. Because Blue Lock seems to be worldwide right now, you know. Because I don't know if you guys saw the impact of Sporty Bets, the YouTube channel that's showing football games right now. You know, Sporty Bets TV, or it's Sporty What's TV. It had hundred thousands of viewers and games that were important in FIFA World Cup, which was shocking to me. And I knew that YouTube had power, you know, doc. But what the channel was doing against TV's, dog, I don't think so many people watch football in TV the same time. 100,000, you know. But the final was worse, you know. The final was even worse because the final had a lot of viewers. Even though it ended really badly, Cole Palmer stole the show, you know. Understand the feeling of getting devoured as Bullock fans. We really, really do. But Gagamaru has a lot to. I'm looking forward to seeing more senior players. Look at this notification. Get the fuck out of the way. I'm trying to read the comment. I'm looking forward to seeing more senior players other than the masters from the NEL, the Neo Egoist League. So the question is, if we go to pro football, it might be the World Cup. I think the World Cup will be fitting. If we go from World Cup to World Cup, I think that will be the best situation whereby we see senior football players. If we go back to back on World Cups, I think that would be great because if maybe players such as, or maybe the top crop or the quality or the top players of the U20 World Cup, they get promoted to their senior teams in their national team, and then those young talents go to play in the final World Cup, like maybe Itoshi Sai being in the starting lineup for the senior U20 team, Oliver Aiko being there, maybe maybe Isagi might not be well developed for that situation, but Isagi declared that he needs to take on Noel Noah. So we have to see a World Cup after one. We really need to see a World Cup, but I think a spin-off series might also be good. A series whereby we go to Germany and we see the relationship between Kaiser and Isagi. Do you think these players leave Block and sign for clubs? I think that's the best next step because as much as Ego has polished these boys, he can't keep them tied down for long, you know. Especially players like Rin Itoshi. Rin Itoshi is wanted ASAP, and even Yukimiya. Yukimiya was given the option to go to his club before the end of Prologue, and he was like, nah, let me stay, and Ajax will tell me if I'm good enough to go back there. Which was low-key risky. I thought that Yukimiya was insane for what he did. At the time when Yukimiya declined the offer from Amsterdam, I was like, Yukimiya, what the fuck are you saying? These people will give you their best surgeons or their best medical help when it comes to your eye disease. I was like, Yukimiya, what? But the boy pulled through. Yukimiya showed that he is a quality talent, and Ajax is not is Ajax is smart. Ajax is the only team as good as Barcelona. And I think Ajax Amsterdam will take in Yukimiya as part of their team. Not only for football, but Yukimiya is a really, really big celebrity, guys. We have to remember that. Do you guys think that there will be a Champions League for Blue Lock players? Champions League, the question is, how long do we think Blue Lock has? Do we think Blue Lock still has about 600 chapters in it? Because I've also been wondering, Blue Lock, will it also transcend time like One Piece? Because low key, I really would appreciate if Blue Lock could transcend time. Though. Blue Lock can work something if there's club football, yeah. Because Lavinio and Noah mentioned it. They really did. They really mentioned it. And as the ratings, they said that Chris Prince came in second in ratings compared to Noah. This shit about to be longer than One Piece. Dog, if Blue Lock gets longer than One Piece, I don't wanna lie. That would be a insane feat. I will respect the authors of Blue Lock because There's a lot of soccer animes that were good, dog, and they got buried. Look at Aoi Ashid, really good when it comes to the manga and the work. The artwork was good. I don't know if you guys know Blue Period, but Blue Period was also a really good football anime. I watched that manga maybe like in 4 days. Blue Period. I watched Blue Period in 4 days. I binge watched that manga because it's that good. Blue Lock chapters are so short, but they're so demanding, dog. There's so much you can do when it comes to soccer, but I wouldn't put it past the Blue Lock team because it seems like it's effortless how they do this stuff. Those guys don't go to break. I don't know when they go to break, we don't even cry. The way Blue Lock is so consistent, though. Like when Blue Lock goes to break, we are like, okay, we know for sure next week they are coming back, and then the week after that, and for a month straight after that, I don't know what it takes for Blue Lock to go on a break. I don't know what it takes for Blue Lock to go on a break. So the Blue Lock has shown insane consistency, and I low-key wanna lie, the animation got dope in the U20 game. The animation got dope, and even though I know that that's so real. Yeah, dog. Like Blue Lock has been consistent. It has been consistent, and looking at the fact that we are on chapter 313, and the end is not on site yet because other two jump in the chat, please. I don't know what it takes to ask these people to jump into the chat. It's really hard to interact with people because I think these people are just passing already. This is not only you that's stressing me out. It also stresses me out that I might have maybe 100 viewers on a stream and then only two comments or two people to chat with. But hey, I'm not complaining, cheese. You know, to me, it's quite good in this way. In an instance, I don't want to have another big shot YouTuber on my comments and I fumble it again because I've met so many people like a guy with 1 million subscribers. I don't want to have a day like that until I'm ready. You know, until I'm ready. But I don't know. You guys are the most loyal and the most who you guys are always here. So I want to put something past you guys like that. I'm not going to be focusing on anime only streams, because besides the fact that I love anime so much, anime is not the only thing that I love. One Piece has put in the drill for adventure in me so much. Do you know TikTok? Yeah, I do know TikTok. TikTok, I'm also on TikTok. I'm trying to blow up on TikTok too. So a lot of things I'm trying to do. So that's why I'm saying that I don't want to stick to anime only. I also want to do other live streams, but I really want to focus on a certain type of yeah. I'm on TikTok. I want to focus on a certain type of audience. You know, I am really into people who are willing to speak about sports because if you love animes such as One Piece, Naruto, and Blue Lock, it shows that you have different kinds of characteristics. You love culture. If you're into One Piece, you just love adventure, and you love it's my TikTok. It's Freddy Live or it's Freddy Clips. When you're into anime, it shows that you need to do more shorts. I need to talk and I need to get help from you guys because shorts are really hard to do. In fact, pulling views in TikTok is really hard to do. That's why I'm trying to explore different niches, because I really want to show different sides of me. because I also want to step foot on the ground, you know. I don't want to stay locked in the house like this. So just to be clear, I won't be doing gaming content. I won't be doing gaming content, but I'll be doing more of physical content, like stepping outside, maybe going to the gym. Because we love bike, you know, if I heading out, W stream, donkey or I did it, you know, always a vibe having you around. So I will be jumping into different types of vibes. I also would like to explore mysteries and all that. So hope you guys will be there to support me and to help me. No, Ratile, no, no. And so do you. Oh, that's all is. You guys are a serious vibe. You guys are a serious vibe. But no. Do you do you know about Shorts Live? Is there a situation? Is there things such as Shorts Live? I haven't seen anything like that. I don't know lie. Shorts live, but I've seen live people live on Shorts, but I don't know if that's something you do People's food or what. I'm not sure. You know, but you can enlighten me to I'm all ears. I'm all ears. Yes, you can do a live with a shot. And more people are stuck in their shots than in in their FYP, but it's just that in the shorts, people are just scrolling by. You know, it's good for the views, though. I don't know. It's good for the views. It's good for the views. But you guys, I do wanna do a One Piece stream after this one. I'm going for the One Piece stream after this one because One Piece has interesting developments which I wanna discuss. One Piece has done it again. Oda has released a banger of a chapter, you know. We get more about Rocksteady's back. We get more about Roger, you know. So I'm going to be people get be scrolling on shorts and see a live. Yeah, I do get that idea. It will be more like a TikTok live whereby you just scroll and someone scrolls by your live. I will try that soon, you know. But is there going to be a stream tomorrow? Yes. Tomorrow I'm going to do a stream about Isagi. You know, we have to talk about Isagi and the types of abilities that he has obtained because it has to be addressed somehow. Nigga has to stop the cap, dog. Isagi can't just be that better again, better than Shido and anyone like that. So I think we need to talk about Isagi for a minute. You know, Isagi needs to be to be discussed, and then maybe a substitute. Maybe we'll do a stream about substitutes, maybe about Thursday or something like that. But otherwise, I will be doing different kinds of streams and trying to see if I can hit a nerve on the YouTube audience, you know, because I'm also thinking of doing a Jude Bellingham stream. I am thinking of Jude Bellingham so much. The Jude Bellingham situation. So I will be doing a Cole Palmer versus Jude Bellingham versus Phil Foden, you know, versus Declan Rice, not even versus. You know, you need to start two, bench one, and then sell one. So I think that will be a very, very interesting topic. Even the World Cup predictions are not out of questions because the World Cup is coming soon. When you get a good PC, you can do a first time playing. Bellingham solos. But Bellingham is going against real shots right now, you know, because Cole Palmer and in fact, Cole Palmer, Declan Rice, and Phil Foden have shown insane performances, my G, you know. I know that Phil Foden might not have insane moments such as Bellingham, but Phil Foden has carried Man City through Premier Leagues, through some titles, some insane titles. Phil Foden was always there, and then Cole Palmer right now is standing or is pulling up or to the event. And then you have Declan Rice in Arsenal. Arsenal has been in great performances back to back. And England has a lot of talent. I don't wanna lie. England has a lot of talent. So will Jude Bellingham have it as easy as he did in the previous World Cup? And discussing Bellingham is a little bad. Bellingham is not even a little bad because of Madrid. I think that Bellingham is doing good because of Madrid. When you're in a bad team, you see good players. Good players come out of bad teams the most. So I think Jude Bellingham is quite doing good, but Cole Palmer dog is cold. Cole Palmer is cold. Phil Foden is also cold, dog. Like Phil Foden is really good. So will those kind of guys be ready to put in a show? Because you cannot tell me that you plan going with Jude Bellingham against Gavi and Pedri again. Like Gavi and Pedri have, even though I'm a Madrid fan, this team was really shit this year. I think Madrid is only shit because of Vinicius Junior. You know, Vinicius Junior is putting a serious toll on the team. And I think Rodrigo will be getting more play time than Vinicius this season. He needs to, because Vini Jr. has been putting a very bad performance ever since Karim Benzema. I've never, well, ever since the exit of Karim Benzema, I've never seen Vinicius Jr. play good football. I've never seen good football from Vini Jr. But let me just prepare for the One Piece live stream, and I'll be back in a minute because Oda has cooked up something. But to the Blue Lockers, to the Egoists, I do hope we get to meet again and grow together, as a community, and get to talk more about football and discuss something else, because such as guys cheating, because there's a lot we can talk about. There's more to life than just anime, even though anime always comes out at top, but there's a lot to life than anime. What do you mean Benzema left and Vinicius almost? Vinicius almost won the Ballon d'Or. There's just a big step between almost and won. People might say that Ribéry needed to win the World Cup, or Ribéry almost won the World Cup, but he didn't. You know, so I know Vini is a good player. I'm not putting anything against Vinicius Junior, but I think that sometimes he needs to serve his team more than do anything. Like, I really are my favorite streamer, and you know what? You are my favorite person who has ever come across ChatG. I don't know that. So you've been with me since I've always fumbled your concentrations. But you remember we waited 40 minutes for the stream to start. 40 fucking minutes. The microphone wasn't working. That was insane. You staying around in that match was quite dope. I don't wanna lie. I don't wanna lie. And your activity on the chat just puts me there in the algorithm, because we've peaked a lot since you've been here, Doug. Like, there have been 15 people viewing the stream at once. So the difference is there. I don't wanna lie. I don't wanna lie. It's you or Adide. You guys always put in the best. So thank you for the subscriptions, Chance. Like, I really hope you'll help me become a very good streamer, Doug, because even though I'm your favorite streamer right now, I'm still trying to evolve. Doug. Nothing is ever enough. This is always a down, Doug. Down, Doug. But hey, next stream, okay, so I'll be back really soon. I'll be back. Let me just prepare for the One Piece stream. Otherwise, thank you very much, you guys. Till the next chapter of Blue Lock. Much love to you guys.